Hey everybody, welcome back to the Five Pines Podcast. I'm your host, Jamie A.B. So today we're going to be talking about the Brett Cooper situation again, okay? I am so glad that Brett has finally announced that she is doing something. I believe it's like an in-person show. But we need to talk about this Raegan situation. I won't talk about it. This will be my last video probably about it. But there's a few things that people aren't talking about that I'm going to mention in this video. So let's get into it. First of all, guys, it's bad. This is bad, okay? Not only do the videos not have a lot of views in comparison to what Brett was bringing in, but Raegan is not as good at this as she thinks that she is. Lots of dead space, and almost seems like her producers are not even close to helping her out with this situation. Watching her video about the drones, she did not include anything, and there was a point in there where she said, ha ha ha, well, that's dumb. You need to provide more than that, ma'am. Okay, did you really study Brett Cooper that much? Did you really work for Brett Cooper that much? Because she did, but girl, this is not it. Daily Wire really screwed the pooch, because over the time that this is since I last made a video, Raegan's cousin has come out and said that, you know, it's not Raegan's fault, this, and this. And then we had someone go on Reddit, and I guess Brett Cooper has a subreddit, which is crazy, but I guess it's not that crazy. But they leaked an email from the Daily Wire kind of saying something along the lines of, we're trying to work something out with Brett, but she will no longer be comment section host. That's going to Raegan. And I guess the story goes that Brett Cooper and Brett Cooper wanted to leave the Daily Wire for, I guess, reasons that we still don't know, because they didn't include that. But then Jeremy Boering sent out that email, and Raegan and her were supposed to go off and do their own thing. Jeremy Boering offers Raegan something, I guess an offer she can't refuse, and Raegan takes the deal, and obviously Brett is not happy about that. But Brett was already leaving. Let me just say this, that if I were Brett, I would still be upset, okay? Especially because I guess Raegan knows why Brett doesn't want to stay at the Daily Wire, and Raegan took the position anyways. What people are not talking about, okay, I watch Alex Clark. I'm very involved in conservative media, okay? Especially women in conservative media. Love my girlies. So I watched the Alex Clark and Brett Cooper interview. And what I found very interesting rewatching this was the story about Brett's engagement. Now, Brett got engaged in Germany, and it just so happened that Raegan spoiled the surprise. I would love to know, spoiled the surprise of the engagement. And I would honestly love to know why Raegan wouldn't think about that, because she sent Brett's fiance or husband or whatever, at the time boyfriend, a text, and I guess Brett's seen it. It just seems like in it, Raegan is either very, very kind of a blonde, if you will, okay? Or she's a mean girl that sabotaged her fucking engagement. Okay, because I read that, and first of all, I don't know when they recorded that, but it was only a month before she left the Daily Wire. I'm not even sure if Raegan was making episodes yet, or if this was in the making when she did this with Alex, because she's very fond of Raegan in this interview and talks about her quite a bit. So I'm pretty sure that that story on Reddit lines up pretty true and good, because if Brett Cooper didn't know, that would explain why a month before she left the Daily Wire, she was talking about Raegan in a really positive light, and then is now unfollowed her, okay? She probably was blindsided by Raegan. I really don't understand what the Daily Wire is thinking. We were all looking forward to that Snow White movie, number one. Number two, did you really think, like I said, I stopped watching Brett Cooper after the Raegan stuff, because I was like, oh, how much of Brett is manufactured, that this girl is the producer and talks exactly like her and yada, yada, yada. And someone mentioned, imagine if you were watching this and you had no idea and they just switched the girl. That did happen. Because one day I was so mad that Raegan was still hosting. I was like, babe, look at this. Look at this. They've literally replaced Brett with someone who talks exactly like her. And I guess this is her best friend. And he's like, what? They switched? I didn't even know this was a different person. That really fucking hurt. Yeah, it's a different person. I am very disappointed. Here's the thing, is that I don't like when Steven Crowder is correct about things. But the fact that Brett, when you search Brett's name on YouTube, her account doesn't even come up. Not in Canada, at least. I had to literally type out and then go and find the link from Candace's thing to find her. Does Brett know about that? I'm sorry, does Daily Wire own the Brett Cooper name? Because why every time you search Brett Cooper, maybe one short from her being on the comment section comes up, and then the rest is videos by commentary channels, and then it's Raegan. Well, Raegan's first, but then it's commentary channels. Like, that would drive me up the wall. Okay? That would drive me up the wall. And something tells me that it drove Brett up the wall as well, judging by her speech, talking about that. So I don't know. I will be very interested to see where Brett goes. I'm excited to see. They shouldn't have replaced Brett with someone that was older than her, by the way. She's like, this generation can't take anything seriously. You're a millennial. You're a millennial. And the things that you believe, Raegan, you should be having children right now. Raegan is 3 years younger than me. I have kids. I'm still able to do, like, I cannot stand when, like, even when Candace, see, the thing is that I don't know what Candace does. I love Candace, by the way, but her and her motherhood and saying, like, how good it is to stay home. I'm like, but do you stay home with your children all the time, or are they being raised by nannies? Now, I don't know. Her husband could be home more than her. I have no idea. But I'm like, okay, you preach to the rest of us that we shouldn't have jobs and we should be taking care of our kids. And, like, all right. But I kind of figured Brett would be someone who would walk the talk or whatever. And something tells me she wanted to work from home. Actually, no. Here's the thing, is that I think that this is about Candace Owens. I genuinely do. I think that Brett never once mentioned being pro-Israel at all. And I think that it bothered the Daily Wire. And as we see now, like, Daily Wire is Israel greater than everything. And you literally can't have a critique of Israel unless you want to get fired. So if I were Brett, I'd be a little bit embarrassed to, like, talk about free speech, knowing that my coworker was fired for having a differing opinion than the rest of the company. And then the other behaviors that I'm sure are present at the Daily Wire that are toxic, that we don't know about, that all of these other people seem to know about. So something tells me it has to do with that. And then Raegan was just the cherry on top of it. And obviously I would be, as a girl, and if I was ever in that situation, a woman or whatever, I would absolutely do the same thing Brett has done and not be friends with someone who would do that. Okay? And Brett calling Jeremy Boering the God King sounded like, when you listen to that, it seriously sounds like she is being not serious in the slightest. Overall, Raegan is tanking. Okay? And I show that you don't like it with numbers. Don't comment mean things. Okay? Raegan, you're 29. Start acting like it. Okay? Technically in conservative years, you should already have like 3 kids. I'm just kidding. Kind of. And if you guys want, I'll make a video about the Daily Wire, because they're so messy, and I'm very centrist, so I can look at things objectively, okay? But they are just so sassy. Like, okay, work, Ben Shapiro. But yeah, like, subscribe, come back for more, because this was one of my best videos for some reason. People really want to talk about Brett Cooper. And actually, I don't blame them. I love Brett Cooper. Can't wait to see your new work. Okay, guys, have a great day.